Good evening and welcome to the Sports Wrap. I'm your host, Mike Grizzard, and we're here at Tiebreakers on Smithwick Drive. We're here every Monday from 6 to 7, and you can watch us on demand on pittcountypost.com. Our guest this week is Casey Charles with East Carolina Aquatics, and later we will be talking with Jason Wood from Pitt Community College. We'll also take a look back at the weekend sports and look ahead to a big week coming up. I'd like to thank our sponsors tonight, Pew's Tire Services and Pew's Tire and Service Center and Tiebreakers Sports Bar and Grill. We'll be back after this break.
Hey craft beer fans, did you know that Tiebreakers now stocks over 50 craft beers? We have slowly added to our craft beer menu and are continuing to add new crafts weekly with your help. Stop by after work and try one of your favorite craft beers and enjoy one of our handcrafted appetizers, burgers, or salads. If you're serious about your craft beer, then find us on the Untapped app. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Find me the best price on quality tires.
Choose Pew's.
Okay, find me automotive service that I can trust.
Choose Pew's.
It's true. Choosy drivers searching for tires and service they can trust. Choose Pew's.
Now through May 7th, when you buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, you can receive a $70 Visa prepaid card by mail. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
For quality tires and automotive service you can trust. Choose Pew's, where your first price is the right price, guaranteed.
Hey craft beer fans, did you know that Tiebreakers now stocks over 50 craft beers? We have slowly added to our craft beer menu and are continuing to add new crafts weekly with your help. Stop by after work and try one of your favorite craft beers and enjoy one of our handcrafted appetizers, burgers, or salads. If you're serious about your craft beer, then find us on the Untapped app. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Before going on to the Olympics in 2012. But to watch her do that, coming out of Greenville, obviously she's very talented. Obviously she worked very hard. But I think it really helps our program out quite a bit to say we've had someone come through, and not only were they an Olympian, but they were an Olympic gold medalist for the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned not having a 50-meter pool, but I know just for years and years, facilities have been a challenge here. You have the Aquaventure now, which gives one more facility, but I mean it's got to be a challenge when you're trying to deal with schedules. I know you may have had to go early morning, late night to Minji's or working just to find time for these kids to practice.
Well, we're very fortunate to have a great relationship with East Carolina University, but during the school year, we're typically in the water from 6:30 to 8:30. As ECU finishes their swimming season, we get a little bit earlier time, and then my group, the senior group, is typically going in from 5 to 6:30 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's not there are no easy roads, especially and again this is with a pretty good pool situation, I would say. Lacking 50-meter water, that just puts a little bit of a monkey wrench in the thing, but overall we're very blessed with our time. We do go to Goldsboro once a week in the summers to get some 50-meter time in, so yeah.
Yeah, just looking at your website, I mean, looks like you've got a phenomenal staff that helps you. Some who swam in this program and came back to help, and others who swam at East Carolina. A lot of people from out of the area who've kind of plugged in. To just talk a little bit about your staff and kind of what they bring to the program.
I think that's what's been the most fulfilling, is the fact that people don't leave. They had a good experience, so they come back, and while they're going through college, or Doug Parker, who is my head age group coach, I've known Doug since he was like 10 years old. He's 28 now, and he's working full time for me, and I think it's a small victory in the way that people want to be around you still. I think that's a good thing. Most of my current swimmers would probably beg to differ some days, but having the Parker family, that's another big family, the Purdue's, the Parkers, but all the Parkers have worked for me. Currently I have Doug and his sister Brittany. They're both working, and AJ's in medical school, so yeah.
Yeah, that's got to say something about the program when they want to come back and give back after they spent years and years swimming for you, and now they want to work with you. So that's a positive on the program.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, let's just look back. You just finished up your short course season and won the championship. So just kind of give us a review, just an overview of how that went for you.
Yeah, we won the ECSL championships, which is pretty much the best teams east of I-95, and it was a pretty convincing victory. We had many great swims. We have a phenomenal group of girls right now, probably our best girls team, which is saying a lot considering we've had an Olympic gold medalist come through. But these girls, we have a group of 6 to 8 girls who are really getting after it, and we have a group of about 6 of them. Hopefully we can take to Olympic trials in 2020.
And I understand Seville Torres is going to Arkansas, and Morgan Despres is staying here to swim from ECU. But just tell me a little bit about those two and some of your other standouts.
Sevilla Torres has had a phenomenal career with us. She's probably the third or fourth fastest female to ever come through the program. Morgan is right there, fifth behind her, and they've been a great duo, competing and fighting for position, and I think in the long run learning something about themselves and each other. Sfia will be going to the University of Arkansas and competing with the Razorbacks, and as you said, Morgan will be at East Carolina University. She just signed with them as of a week ago, and that was a long process, but again, I think even through the goods and the bads, there's always things to learn, and I think it was definitely a learning situation for everyone involved.
Yeah, even though they're on the same team, how much do they push each other in practice and meets and I know sometimes they're competing against their own time, but how much do they push each other to get better? Yeah,
I think that's an important thing in swimming. I mean, if you move back to the time with those two girls, yeah, they push each other every day. If you move back to 2009 and you think of, we had a guy named Matt Hauser who came through, was probably the third best 18-year-old swimmer to ever swim in United States swimming, and Matt pulled a group of kids together that had no business swimming in college, and ended up, we had 3 or 4 out of that class that ended up swimming. So when you have these great ones who train really well every day, they can pull people along for sure. I mean, they're leaders. They expect so much from themselves, and they expect so much from their teammates as well.
Talk about a little bit about how ECA is organized altogether, because I know you have Roanoke Rapids, Carteret, Washington, and several other organizations under that one umbrella. So how is that organized?
We have, so in Greenville, we have 9 different training groups from ages 4 all the way up till, we're not going to divulge the oldest swimmer on the team, but we do have a master's program, which is everybody. And so we have Greenville, Washington, Cape Carteret. We have Morehead City. We're at Camp Lejeune, and we were at Roanoke Rapids. And did I say Washington?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I don't want to leave anyone out.
So that's a pretty large footprint for ECA.
Yeah, I mean, and when I started, we had it was in graduate school. We had 80 kids on the team in Greenville. We peaked out probably about a year ago, about 500 kids.
Wow.
So it's been a pretty phenomenal growth, and we're pleased with it. But with more people come more situations, and I feel smarter for having to go through many different situations that I'd never had to even think of before.
Yeah. Hey, you told me you just had your 1 week off, so I'm sure you got a lot coming up with summer, and you got your end of the year banquets. So, let's just go over what you got coming up. You got your end of the year celebration coming up on April 15th.
Yeah, we have it's at Rock Springs at 2 p.m. The public's not invited. You already have to you had to RSVP for that one, but we're going to have many awards like the Swim of the Year, and we'll bring many of our sites together. We'll come and we will discuss how the season went, go over awards. We do have, speaking of the Purdue's, they've been very kind and generous to our program. This will be the fourth year that they've given $1,500 to kids in the program to pretty much pay for their tuition for the year, and so that we call that the Purdue Scholarship. And that's another great thing where we have a family that keeps giving even though they haven't had kids in the program for 4 years.
Yeah. And then April 20th, you've got your age group, end of the season age group celebration.
Yes. So we'll have we got into these long 4-hour banquets, and maybe they got to 5 hours, I don't know. And it was just, it got a little long. So we ended up saying, okay, well, we're going to take our 12 and overs and we'll have a banquet for them, and then we'll have a celebration for our little guys and get some pizza, make it a little bit more informal, and jump off the diving boards, things like that. Yeah.
A little fun for them. Okay, and then May 19th, you got your ECA Beach Tri-Meet. Is that the kickoff of the long course season, or is that?
For us, it will be. We will have a team from Hillsborough coming in and Wilmington, and should be about 350, 400 kids at that meet. You never know what the water, how cold the water is going to be at Moorhead. It's not heated, so we could be in a range of anywhere from like 70 to 85 degrees. Yeah. But it'll be a fun meet, good way to start off the season. We had one year where it was really, really warm, one where it was really, really cold, so hopefully this one will be right in the middle.
Yeah.
After that, we'll have a training trip. We're going to go to Tennessee. We'll take our top senior kids and head to Tennessee for a week to Baylor School and train over there, and come back and have another meet at the beach. But the summers tend to go very quickly. We only have a few, it's like 10 weeks, and then it's over, but it's quick.
How long will your seniors, especially those going off to swim in college, how long would they be with you throughout the summer season, or
our last meet will be the first weekend in August, and we may have some times where they can practice after that, but usually ECU shuts down for a little bit, and most of those kids will be going off to college.
Well, just lastly, if anyone out there listening wants to get their child involved, wants to sponsor the program, wants to be a volunteer, how do they get in touch with you or get more information about East Carolina Aquatics?
Yeah, we are a not-for-profit organization. You can go to swimeca.org, or you can call 252-945-8400. Those are ways to get in touch with us. Greenville Swim Club's been around for more than 50 years, and East Carolina is the new name for that. And it's been I can't be happier with the run that we've had for the last 15 years with the program and building it and building swimming in Greenville.
Yeah, well, it's really been a great program. We've seen, like we said, just so many great kids come out of this, and not only great swimmers, but just great people and going on to bright futures. And appreciate all you do and all the time you put in. Like you say, 80-hour weeks, and
it's long.
Yeah. But I'm sure you don't figure up the per hour rate you get.
I did get to miss practice today, though.
Okay.
I left the kids there with an assistant, and said I have an interview to do.
Well,
so
good.
I said they can clown me afterwards.
We're glad we could help you get maybe one more day off in your little break. Okay, so we really appreciate you coming on, and we'll be keeping up with you throughout your long course season and following these kids and giving them publicity that they certainly deserve with all the time they put in. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take a break right now. We'd like to thank Tiebreakers and Pew's Tire Service to sponsor tonight's program. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey Greenville, are you tired of paying way too much for average food? Then plug Tiebreakers into your GPS and try some of our handcrafted plates. Tiebreakers does all the extra things that the chain restaurants don't do. We hand cut and bread our boneless wings, we hand patty our Angus burgers, we even hand cut and bread our own cheese sticks. Tiebreakers always goes that extra mile for you, our customer. Open every day for lunch, dinner, and caterings. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Find me the best price on quality tires.
Choose Pew's.
Okay, find me automotive service that I can trust.
Choose Pew's.
It's true. Choosy drivers searching for tires and service they can trust. Choose Pew's.
Now through May 7th, when you buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, you can receive a $70 Visa prepaid card by mail. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
For quality tires and automotive service you can trust, choose Pew's, where your first price is the right price, guaranteed.
Hey craft beer fans, did you know that Tiebreakers now stocks over 50 craft beers? We have slowly added to our craft beer menu and are continuing to add new crafts weekly with your help. Stop by after work and try one of your favorite craft beers and enjoy one of our handcrafted appetizers, burgers, or salads. If you're serious about your craft beer, then find us on the Untapped app. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Welcome back to the Sports Route. We are here at Tiebreakers on Smithwick Drive. We'd like to thank Casey Charles for stopping by for talk about East Carolina Aquatics. Now we have Jason Wood from Pitt Community College on the phone to talk about the Bulldogs and the run that the Bulldogs are on. Got a little hot streak going. Hey, Jason, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing great. We have Jason Wood with Pitt Community College, assistant coach, and Bulldogs are on quite a run. But I guess, Jason, part of the story this year is weather, man. You guys have just hit a lot of rain, lost a couple of doubleheaders, a couple of games.
Absolutely. We originally scheduled 50, and I think right now we're down to 41. The rain has really hit us hard this year. We lost the whole series to Patrick Henry. We lost one game in the Catawba Valley series, and we've lost several midweeks. So yeah, it's been a little unfortunate, but it's just kind of we're dealing with what we can, and if we can play, we can play, and if we don't, we just sort of move on to the next one.
Right. As coaches, how do you keep the kids focused and sharp when they're not getting real game action?
It's difficult, especially the last time we played is last Tuesday against Lewisburg, and we don't have a midweek this week, so it's challenging. You have to come up with some creative things to do at practice, and maybe take some approaches that you wouldn't normally take with guys, but it is nice because we also get to spend more individual time with players at practice that maybe we wouldn't get the opportunity to do on a game-heavy week. So, there's a double side to that sword, if you will, and, I think we use it to our advantage when we can.
Yeah. Do you think that affects pitching more when the guys aren't getting their work in or hitting? I mean, with their timing, not seeing live pitching, or is it affects all areas?
Yeah, I think with pitchers, it's for some guys that haven't thrown a lot, you hate that for them because, you'd love for them to get out and have that experience. But, as far as the guys that have carried the bulk of our innings, sometimes having a weekend off is actually pretty valuable for them just in terms of getting rested and healthy as we wind down here towards the conference tournament.
Right. Well,
with the hitters offensively, we do so much at practice and try and see live pitching as much as we can. I mean, I think they'll be okay. Obviously you'd like to get them at bats against, in games and whatnot. But, when you can't do it, you find other ways to sort of replicate that process.
Right. Well, let's just kind of look at the season overall. Obviously, you guys came into the season with pretty high expectations, ranked in the top 5 or 6 in the nation, coming off World Series. And, anytime you start with expectations, there's a different mindset. You kind of have a target on your back. Just talk about the expectations coming in. You got off to a little bit of a slow start, but now you've recovered. How do you think the team handled that early?
Well, I think it was, we scheduled a difficult non-conference this year, no question about it. We played USC Sumter, who's a good team, and played Lewisburg several times, who's a much improved team from last year. They're very good, and then also Florence Darlington is extremely good, went to the Division I World Series last year. I think that playing those quality opponents early on has really helped us more than it's hurt us for sure. Because if you play, kind of a really easy schedule early on and get some of that false confidence, that doesn't really serve you well for once you get into conference play because you're not battle tested and you haven't experienced any failure.
Right.
As far as the expectations go, though, our expectations are still the same as they were at the beginning of the year. We want to win the regular season, we want to win the conference tournament, and we want to get to Oklahoma, and we'd like to be successful there as well. But I don't think the struggles in the early part of the season have changed any of that. But it's the first 9 or 10 games actually have prepared us to be where we're at now, which is 9-1 in our last 10 games and 10-1 in the conference.
Right. Yeah, and junior college is so much different from 4 years. You have so much, turnover with your personnel, and I guess early in the season you really just feeling the guys out, trying different
right.
combinations.
And this year, this year more so probably than last year because just simply because we had more position players. We had 18 position players that we felt like all of them could benefit us or help us out in one way or another. So, early on, I think a lot of guys were fighting for playing time, and, we rolled out some different lineups, and, it's kind of taken a while for, us as coaches to figure out how all the pieces fit together. We're probably still figuring it out, but, the good thing about that is we have good pieces, and we know we have good pieces, so it's a good problem to have.
All right. Well, let's talk about a few of those players. I mean, you guys have won 5 in a row, 12 out of 13 since you started Region 10 play, but you knew coming in Andrew Blake was kind of your stud on the mound. It looks like when Jake Isbell kind of got into the rotation, that kind of settled some things down. He kind of stabilized that. How big is that for Jake, kind of stepping up there?
Yeah, well, it's big for him, and it's really big for us. I mean, we going into, the season, we knew Andrew was probably going to be a staple of the rotation. And outside of that, we were kind of unsure about what the rotation was going to look like, and we were going to kind of let it play out, and gave Jake an opportunity to jump into a starting role. And he's had a lot of success last weekend against Wake Tech. He was an infield hit away from a perfect game, and then really pitched really well. But it's been huge for us because in our region, you got to have at least 3 quality starters, really 4, for a midweek game as well to be successful. And we found that once you go to the World Series, if you're fortunate enough to get there, you need 4 again. And having Jake step in and fill one of those roles has been huge for us.
Yeah, are you still kind of searching for that number 3 weekend guy? Because I know Dylan's thrown some, John, Tramp's had a couple of starts, but are you still
I wouldn't say searching for it. I would say more so the situation kind of dictates, which guy's going to throw. We have confidence in a lot of guys for that role, and, kind of the flow of what's going on kind of determines which of those guys might throw that day. For example, Johnny Owen didn't start last weekend. We thought, we could be successful using him out of the bullpen, and he got to come in and close 2 ball games and did a good job for us. So, I think it's just dictated by the situation. We got 3 or 4 guys that we feel like can get it done.
Yeah, a couple of newcomers I want to talk about, especially. Austin LaFollette is just guy's been amazing. Hit some big home runs for you. I think he went a stretch there. We had 3 home runs in 4 games over at Wake Tech, and just talk about what he's brought to the lineup. And obviously you had you needed someone to provide some power with what you lost from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to hit 72 home runs last year, and then we lost most of that lineup. So, you're trying to find guys that are going to come in and fill some of those holes, and Austin has filled some of those needs and exceeded them. It seems like every time you're turning around, he's hitting another home run. It's incredible, the success he's had so far this year. And Austin's not a really big guy. I mean, he's just an athletic, kind of smaller frame power hitter. When you look at him, you probably wouldn't think that he's hitting balls 420 feet, but he's got a great swing and great hand-eye coordination and a really good approach, and he's a confident hitter. And I think the rest of our lineup is sort of fed off of that.
Yeah. And let's talk about Joe Mason, what he brings. Obviously, he had a great freshman season at Wingate, had played against some good competition. Just watch. He's so much fun to play. He just knows the game. A great hitter, good speed, good outfielder. What does a guy like Joe bring to this team?
Yeah, he brings, first and foremost, a really good attitude and a lot of energy. He's kind of been a spark plug for us. If we're getting hitting a lull, or guys are down or whatever, Joe's kind of the pickup guy that always is sort of keeping everybody going and keeping everybody sharp. But he plays the game hard. He's going to always take the extra base. He's going to give you everything he's got in the field. And that's the style of baseball we want to play. So, him coming in as a first-year guy and sort of helping us set that tone, that's been really beneficial for us.
Yeah, I know you had some guys out with injuries, and some of those guys are getting back up. Just what's the feeling going forward now? I mean, you're 10-1 at the conference, first place. You got a couple of bottom tier teams coming up. What's the team's mindset going forward right now?
Obviously we were disappointed we didn't get to play this weekend, but, we sort of put that past us. And really, the motto for us this whole year is just to be, worry about us, control what we can control. We don't get very caught up in, looking at the standings in the league or who everybody else is playing. We kind of just, find our next date, and that's the opponent we're playing, and let's control what we can control. So I don't think we're looking ahead at all. We have a Pitt team coming in this weekend who last year, gave us all kinds of problems, and we're a really good team. So we're expecting a dogfight this weekend, no doubt.
Yeah, well, baseball, it's a lot of times it comes down to who's on the mound, and one guy can beat you. You just look at any level of baseball. You roll out there, you never know who's going to win. So you got to bring your best.
There's no doubt,
game.
And we know they have at least one arm that's pretty good. So we're preparing for that, and even though they're kind of down in the standings, we're definitely not taking them lightly or doing anything different. We're prepared for a dogfight for sure.
All right, no pun intended there, right? On the dogfight.
That's right.
All right. Well, this is Jason Wood, with assistant coach with Pitt Community College. If you haven't gone out to see the Bulldogs play, try to get out this weekend. Really a fun team to watch. They played the game the right way, and trying to get back to Indiana, Oklahoma for the World Series. Jason, we appreciate your time tonight, and as always, good luck next week.
All right. Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Thanks, Jason. All right, that's Jason Wood with Pitt Community College. We're going to take a short break. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Tiebreakers Sports Bar and Grill, and Pew's Tire and Service Center here with locations in Greenville and Williamson and Washington. We'll be right back.
Hey Greenville, are you tired of paying way too much for average food? Then plug Tiebreakers into your GPS and try some of our handcrafted plates. Tiebreakers does all the extra things that the chain restaurants don't do. We hand cut and bread our boneless wings. We hand patty our Angus burgers. We even hand cut and bread our own cheese sticks. Tiebreakers always goes that extra mile for you, our customer. Open every day for lunch, dinner, and caterings. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Find me the best price on quality tires.
Choose Pew's.
Okay, find me automotive service that I can trust.
Choose Pew's.
It's true. Choosy drivers searching for tires and service they can trust. Choose Pew's.
Now through May 7th, when you buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires, you can receive a $70 Visa prepaid card by mail. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
For quality tires and automotive service you can trust, choose Pew's, where your first price is the right price, guaranteed.
Hey craft beer fans, did you know that Tiebreakers now stocks over 50 craft beers? We have slowly added to our craft beer menu and are continuing to add new crafts weekly with your help. Stop by after work and try one of your favorite craft beers and enjoy one of our handcrafted appetizers, burgers, or salads. If you're serious about your craft beer, then find us on the Untapped app. Tiebreakers is your local spot for food, sports, and entertainment.
Welcome back to the Sports Wrap. We'd like to thank Casey Charles from East Carolina Aquatics and Jason Wood with Pitt Community College to be our guest tonight. We're going to look back at the weekend sports and look ahead to a big week coming up. I guess the big news really is the return of Hunter Christopher for J.H. Rose, who's missed the last 6 games with a concussion, and also Kevin Mills with South Central Baseball, who also missed the Easter tournament with also under concussion protocol, but both of those guys should be back for tomorrow night, Tuesday night's games. Got a text from Ronald Vincent, RV, said Hunter will be back in the lineup tomorrow night. So Hunter missed 6 games, and while he was out, Rose lost 4 of those 6. So I know they'll be glad to get Hunter back, not only at the top of the lineup, but also pitching. Hunter took a knee to the head in the game over at high school and has been out for 6 games. Let's take a look at the standings in the Eastern Carolina 3A, 4A Conference baseball right now. As Conley sits on top at 4-1, 12-2 overall. Rose and Southern Wayne are at 3-2. Rose is 10-4 overall. Southern Wayne 6-5. CB Acox at 3-3, 12-3 overall. Acox started the year at number 1. Then Rose moved to number 1, so there'll be with those 2 teams falling in the last few weeks, there'll be a new number 1 team at the top of the 3A classification this week. New Bern is 2-3, 6-6 overall. South Central is 1-3, 7-5. South Central's pretty good team, probably a lot better than their record shows. And Eastern Wayne's at 1-3. That one conference win came over Rose, and Eastern Wayne is 3-9 overall. Big game tomorrow night will be South Central traveling over to Conley, and it'll pit Scott Mayo, left-hander, who's got a 4-1 record for South Central, against right-hander Robbie O'Neill, who's 5-0 for Conley. So it should be quite a game tomorrow night. Conley's actually got 8 guys hitting over 350, and quite a lineup that Coach Mills is putting out there. But Conley picked up 3 wins in the Easter tournament. They beat Bloom Carroll out of Ohio 10-4, beat Green Central 8-1, Havelock 10-0. This week, after playing South Central on Tuesday, they host Jacksonville on Thursday and at Eastern Wayne on Friday. Rose Rose went 2-1 in the Easter tournament. Defeated Wayne County Homeschool 7-2. Lost a very strong Whiteville team 12-2, and defeated Edenton 8-4. Rose will host New Bern on Tuesday. Like I say, Hunter Christopher will be back for that game. Host South Central on Friday, and then Middle Creek on Saturday. South Central went 3-0 in the Easter tournament. Beat Bloom Carroll 4-3. Powhatan out of Virginia 6-1, and beat a very good West Craven team 3-1. So rivalry week for the Falcons. They are at Conley on Tuesday, at Eastern Wayne on Wednesday, and at Rose on Friday. So 3 road games coming up for the Falcons. Drew Nichols for South Central right now is leading the county in batting at 487. Drew is quite a hitter. Left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher, but Drew's batting 487, 19 RBIs. Zach Byram from Conley, one of those eight hitters above 350 at 419. He scored 21 runs in the leadoff spot. Robbie O'Neill is 366 with 2 home runs. Robbie's also 5-0 on the mound, so he's having quite a junior season. Nick Baldwin from Conley's at 364. Hunter Christopher was at 458 before going out with his injury, so I know RV's really glad to get him back at the top of the lineup. Robbie Wacker from Rose is at 359, and Anthony Sade at 356. Turning to the East Carolina 2A conference right now, Washington leads that conference at 4-1, 10-2 overall, and they're kind of jumbled up in the middle with South Lenoir at 4-2, North Lenoir 3-2. Green Central's at 3-2, West Craven 3-2, Aiden Grifton's at 1-4, Kinston at 0-5. Aiden Grifton picked up 2 wins in the Ray Avery tournament, defeating Pamlico 17-7. Lost to Beargrass Charter School 9-1, and defeated Roanoke Rapids 13-6. Chargers this week host Green Central on Tuesday, Northside on Wednesday, and rival Farmville Central on Thursday. Aiden Grifton's been led so far by Jackson Upchurch, batting 452, and Brandon Benfield batting 400. In the Eastern Plains 2A conference, Nash Central, North Johnston are both 2-0. Nash is 8-7 overall. North Johnston's 8-5. North Pitt 1-1, 6-8. Bedingfield's 1-1, 6-4. Southwest 0-2, 7-7. Farmville Central's 0-2, 4-7. North Pitt dropped all 3 of its games in the Easter tournament, falling to Green Central 12-0. Lost to Riverside 9-1, and lost to Powhatan out of Virginia 13-2. Panthers have a busy week. They host Nash Central on Tuesday, host South Creek on Thursday, then travel to Nash Central on Friday. The way the conference is setting up this year, they play home and home in the same week. And talked with Coach Meadows, and he said he really likes this setup. And I think a lot of coaches do, because if there is a rain out, you don't have to juggle the schedule a lot if you're playing the same team twice in a week, that you can go ahead and reschedule that same week and play. Farmville Central started off 1-7, but won 3 games in its Easter tournament, the Golden Leaf tournament, Golden Leaf Invitational over in Farmville, but they got past Northern Nash 2-1, edged Southern Nash 3-2, and bombed Wayne Country Day 19-3. Jaguars this week host Southwest Edgecombe on Tuesday, They're at Aden-Grifton on Thursday and at Southwest Edgecombe on Friday. In softball, Conley and South Central will meet in a big conference game on Tuesday at 6 o'clock over at Conley. Right now, the Falcons are 4-0 in the conference, 10-1 overall. They won a couple of 5-4 games during Easter. CBA Cock is 5-1, 11-3. One of those, that one loss came to South Central. South Central scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to beat them 5-4. Conley's 4-1, 8-4. Conley's been dealing with a few injuries this year, but still 4-1 in the conference. Southern Wayne 2-3, 4-6. Newbern and Rhodes are both 1-4 in the conference. The Ramparts are 3-6 overall, and Eastern Wayne's 0-4 and 0-9. South Central this week has 3 road games. They're at Conley on Tuesday, at Heritage and Wake Forest on Thursday, at Rose on Friday. Conley, after hosting South Central on Tuesday, goes to Eastern Wayne on Friday and at Wake Forest on Saturday. Probably the biggest story in softball in the county is Cameron Davis, who's hit 5 home runs and at least 1 game winner. But Cameron's signed with UNC Pembroke, but she's quite a hitter, batting .613 on the season. In the Eastern Carolina Conference 2A, Washington leads that league at 5-0. South Lenore's 5-1. Aden-Grifton and Green Central are both at 3-2. Aden-Grifton hosts Green Central on Tuesday and Northside on Wednesday. In the Eastern Plains 2A Conference, we got 3 teams at 2-0, 3 teams at 0-2. But Farmville Central, Beddingfield, and North Johnson all at 2-0. North Johnson's 11-0 overall. Beddingfield 9-0 overall, and Farmville Central is 7-3. Nash Central, Southwest Edgecombe, and North Pitt are all 0-2. The Panthers are 0-9 overall. Nash Central 0-10. This week, Farmville Central hosts Southwest Edgecombe. On Tuesday, goes to Southwest Edgecombe on Friday. North Pitt faces Nash Central on Tuesday at Nash Central on Friday. Turning to Little League, had our season opening ceremonies on Friday night. It's a beautiful night at Stalin Stadium at Elm Street Park, and they honored the 8 to 10-year-old Tournament of State Champions team, the 9 to 11 Tournament of State Champions team, and the 10 to 12 North State All-Stars that went to the Little League World Series. So one more time, all those guys got together to celebrate and now to start a new year. In the first game, Eastern Plumbing defeated Physicians East 7-3. Saturday was a total washout, so all the games are rescheduled for Sunday. We had 3 shutouts on Sunday. Jarman Auto shut out Kiwanis 4-0. Overton's shut out Remax 3-0. And Coca-Cola blanked East Carolina Auto and Truck Center 2-0. In other games, Brown and Wood got by Ross Orthodontics 6-3. Carolina Winners and Doors beat Sylvan Learning Center 5-3. Host Lions beat BB&T 6-4, and Pepsi came back, scored a run in the bottom of the 6th inning, and beat Optimus 7-6. In Winterville, they will resume play on April 12th, but right now Dependable Contractors is in first place at 4-0. Brighton's Braves 3-1. NC Driving School at 2-2. The Camp Hatteras Pirates at 1-3, and the Astros are 0-4. That's the major league standings. In the minor leagues, the White Sox are 4-1, the Red Sox are 3-1, Yankees 3-1. The Pirates and the Astros are both 1-3, and the Cubs are 1-4. In volleyball, last weekend had the East-West Carolina Region Championships, and the ECJVC 16 Purple team posted a 5-0 record, finished first in Morrisville at Triangle Volleyball Club, and also the ECJVC 12 Black team finished as a runner-up, taking second place in that Carolina Region Championship. The Pitt County Girls Softball League was scheduled to have its opening ceremonies on Monday night, but that was rained out. Bobat said all those festivities have been rescheduled for Wednesday, so they will have their opening ceremonies and first games on Wednesday at the Sarah Law Complex on Reedy Branch Road. Well, that's a wrap for this week, and we will join you next Monday back here at Tiebreakers, where we will have Evan Johnston from the Winterville Cal Ripken League, and also have Michael Vaughn and Jake Allen from the Kiwanis team with Greenville Little League. They were also assistant coaches to Brian Fields on the North State All-Stars that went to the Little League World Series, so those will be our two guests next Monday. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Monday.